Welcome to this Year 10 Biology Maker Movement task focused on DNA, genes and chromosomes. This website has been set up specifically to direct and guide you through this task. The home page is just a welcome to the Maker Movement and explaining very briefly what is involved. The next page is an About Me page, so the author and designer of this task tells you a little bit about myself and why I chose to do this task. And also it gives my email addresses, so if you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to contact me. The project overview page, it shows that the task is broken into 3 parts. Part 1 is the research and investigation stage. Students will work in groups of 2 to 3, and this is really self-driven study. So the students need to learn how to study and source information for themselves. Part 2 is now that all their notes have been collected and sorted, it's time to transfer that into the presentation. Now, the presentation that the students will be creating is through a tool called Powtoon. A demonstration of how to use will be provided by the teacher. But students will then work in their groups over the next lessons, compiling their research, presenting it on Powtoons, and can narrate it when appropriate. Part 3 is the presentation and end product. All groups will present their end product in front of the class. The rationale. In the rationale, the meaningful learning framework is addressed. Active learning is embodied when students are manipulating Powtoon and learning through the manipulation of making this technology work. Constructive learning is prevalent. Students are expected to articulate the information they have sourced and create meaning. Cooperative learning demonstrated as they're working in a group. They need to have good communication skills and collaborate with each other well. Intentional learning, there's obviously an intended goal at the end of this to have produced their end product on Powtoon and have a great animation for the rest of their peers to enjoy. And authentic learning, or the real life aspect of the project, ties in with skills required while sourcing the required information by themselves, in addition skills needed to navigate their way around Powtoon. Then just explaining a little bit about what the Maker Movement actually is. So using a technology like Powtoon, it allows students to learn by making. The technology is relevant to them and it excites them and encourages their learning. Here's an example of the end product, just a short clip of what is expected of the students to produce. Now, the learning outcomes is structured and aligned with Bloom's taxonomy. By the end of this task, successful students will be able to recognise, describe and label the structure of DNA, genes and chromosomes. They will also be proficient users in the tool of Powtoon. The final page is the project content. Now, on this page, lesson layouts are visible. Lesson 1 is the lesson where you will learn about students' prior knowledge of the topic and you will present them with the project or task at hand. Then students will begin their research. Lesson 2 and 3 will also be students in their groups sourcing the information about the topic. And if by the end of these lessons they have not completed all research, the rest will need to be conducted at home. Lesson 4 is when you begin to explain and demonstrate how to use Powtoon. This only needs to be done to 10 to 15 minutes so students have a base idea of how to use the app or the website. Once you have done that, students now need to go learn for themselves and present their information on Powtoon. Lessons 5 and 6 will also be students continuing to work on their presentations and completing them hopefully by the end of Lesson 6. Lesson 7, all final groups will show their Powtoon presentation in front of the class. Now, how to use Powtoon. In Lesson 4, when you explain to the children, you can show them these quick videos that I have put a thumbnail to or a link to the website and the videos. I would begin with the top left video, and it is just a very brief overview of how to use the website. Resources, so you can guide the students in the right direction of where to source their information. There is the Pearson Science book 2nd edition that students can go to in chapter 2.1. There's also a website and a few YouTube videos that will be very beneficial in the student's understanding of the content that is needed to finish this task. Thank you for listening, and I really hope that you enjoy this Make a Movement.